Okay, it's Jeff again, and we're back on the client machine, and we have this local server sitting over here, and we have a radio. And we're going to leave the local server connected so that when you come back to your house after you've been out, you can use this server instead of the other server. So temporarily, I'm going to shut this one off. Just going to disconnect from that server. And I'm going to add another server. And this time, I'm going to give it my public information, my public address. And I'm going to just go ahead and grab that, and I'll be right back. So now we're about to find out why I don't like fixed IP addresses. I can disconnect from my ISP and tell it to give me a new address, and I get one. And I use named domains because I'm running everything through no IP. I have one set there, and I also use DYN DNS, which are two popular systems that will take a changing IP address and give you a fixed name for it. Anyway, so I went and found what my current IP address is, and I'm going to go ahead and type it in here. I'll pause while I do, no sense giving away too much information, but I'm going to type my public IP address into here right now, and I'll be right back. Okay, now if I've typed this in correctly, and I typed in the control point, I'm going to hit next. We now are going, actually, even though I'm in the LAN, this will actually work. So I'm going to do that thing again, test. I think it was test 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's what I had here. And I go next. And it connected. It connected to that IP address. And I'm going to call this W6 FCC WAN 7300. This is the wide area network connection. This is not the LAN on the other radio. So if I say finish, lo and behold, I'm connected to here. Go to the radio list, I'm connected to here. I can go ahead and connect to this radio, and I'm connected, port number 10, and I should now be able to go ahead and bring up RSBA1, which I'm going to do. And let me see if it's in the proper location. Got to pause this for that last paused, I had to resize the screen. But I take the connect set again, and it's going to tell me that I have the same radio I had the last time. Now I'm only connected to the public IP address now, and everything looks the same here. It's all the same. So I'm going to say go ahead, I'll connect, and believe it or not, I'm now going to connect through the public IP address. Now, it's a little strange that the router knows how to do this, but it is a router and it is smart. It knows that when I'm going out for that address, it looks at it and says, yeah, but that's here. The thing you want to go to is right inside your own LAN. So it basically forced me back into the radio that's in the other part of the house here. But when you leave and you go off to Starbucks, or you take your equipment with you, you can use that particular device, the one that's the public one, to connect. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here real quick. Now, we don't want you paying attention to my RSB remote address. Oh, shit, I don't want to run that again. I want to go over here to this thing. Let's see here. That's what I want. You see, the server list has a WAN server and a local server. So I can disconnect this one. Actually, I can connect to both of them, believe it or not. It's not going to mind me connected to both, and it's going to pick whatever radio. It doesn't even matter over here. It knows. I mean, believe it or not, this stuff is amazing. It just knows. So I'm going to just disconnect all this stuff. This is the client. So anyway, that's how you set it up I kind of glossed over the end there because it was giving away some information I don't want to just make public, but you should have enough information now to set up your server connected to the radios. Remember, you don't need to create a server on your actual server machine. You just simply create a radio. That thing knows it's a server if that's what you're up to. It sees you trying to make a radio connected to it directly. It knows, oh, you want me to be a server. So then you get the radio all set up and whatever, and you leave that thing running. You then go to a client machine and you connect to it with the LAN. Make sure everything's working, it all looks nice. Then you set up your port forwarding on your router. Then go back to your client machine. This time you put in your router's public IP address. And if you name these things correctly as you're going through this, you call it your call sign with your radio when you're creating a radio. You call it your call sign with the word LAN server or WAN server when you're setting up the server connection to your, when your client radio is connecting to the server. You say, what's the name of my server? And then everything will make sense because the radio list will contain a radio that looks like it's something you recognize. It's either on a LAN or, the radio will simply have a name. Like in my case, W6FCC 7C 7300. The radio doesn't need to know where it is because your local client version of ICOM Remote says, I've got it all taken care of, I'm all connected, here's your radio. At that point you connect to RSPA1 and you're in. I hope this helped. Jeff, W6FCC, and it's now almost 9 o'clock on Tuesday, July 10th, 2018. I may redo some of these in the future, but this should get you started. Have fun.